Alright, it's your boy, xBenv0liox, playing another game against Reastbook. I beat him with my Charmander army in the last battle I fought against him. He was playing the Beastman and I won, and so we had another game, and this time I was feeling a little confident, so I went with the race I don't normally play, and that would be the Empire, who are actually one of the most popular factions in the game, and I don't usually play them though, so I decided to go with him. So I'm playing as the Empire, he's playing as the Dark Elves. So let's get into it real quick here. So let's start with my legendary lord here, Karl Franz, the Emperor himself, armored, armor-piercing, and a duelist, mounted on his barded warhorse Chuck. So I put him on the horse. You can mount him on a griffin, but I didn't want to make a big target. Sometimes I try to avoid big monsters because I want to have a bigger army, because the griffin costs lots of gold, and I also wanted to make him less of a target. So I put him on as an anchor, barded warhorse, back safely out of range out of any opening artillery shots, and in the middle, so I can kind of put him where I need to put him. So let's start far over on my right flank. I've got a group of Pistoliers, which are a ranged cavalry unit for 500 gold. They're very fast. They got Vanguard deployment. They're weak against armor, though. I guess their little pistols there aren't so effective. I ended up preferring Outriders after using these guys a couple times. I mean, they're great value for 500 gold for what they do. But I just ended up prefer something with if I'm gonna have cavalry with guns, I'm gonna want them to have armor piercing. But these guys are all right, useful if used well. I don't know. I don't exactly know the best instance to use them. Probably against low armor targets. Harassing low armored infantry is probably the best thing for them. Just kiting them, low armored infantry, and that could be useful. But they weren't. They were okay. I think they were okay in this match, and you can start them in nice positions like this and kind of immediately start harassing his infantry. But again, without that armor piercing, I don't know if they're quite as useful as I needed them to be here against the Dark Elves. But here's the Reichsguard. I brought one group of Reichsguard on my right flank as well. They're armored and shielded and anti-infantry, and so they're okay in this matchup because he's brought an all-infantry army, so they're going to be good. I'm going to want to get any juicy charges into infantry, rear charges, etc. Don't want to get bogged down, obviously. They're going to be weak to armor-piercing fire, but they're going to be great against infantry formations. They're being led here by a Empire captain, armored and shielded, just with giving that leadership buff. I'm hoping to the units around him, and kind of giving that support, and just being like a solid hero unit. So he's going to be a strong single unit. He's going to last. And my Empire captains did pretty good in this battle, even though it didn't end up going my way, but we'll see. So one Empire captain, one group of Pistoliers and Reichsguard, and that's on both flanks. So there's another Empire captain, Reichsguard, and Pistoliers over there on that flank. Let's take a look at my main line. I've got on the far right flank a group of halberdiers, armor piercing, anti-large in case he brought any hydras or anything like that, and charge defense against all, so able to soak up cavalry charges and deal with monsters somewhat effectively. Yeah, as you can see, just regular dudes with funny pants, kind of like a Austro-Hungarian Empire style, like a Renaissance era soldiers is kind of the Empire's deal. And they're kind of neat. So I got a group of spearmen with shields. I just want to have that shield. When I get spearmen, I just go the extra to give them shields, to give them that just little extra bit of protection and usefulness. So they're shielded and they're anti-large, and they do have charge defense against large foes. So they're going to be good against any monsters, decent against any cavalry as well, to kind of guard the flank, backing up the halberdiers on the far right flank. And then I've got in the center 3 groups of swordsmen. All with, I think, 3 chevrons each, so stats slightly buffed by those extra chevrons. So they're shielded sword infantry, just good to get stuck in with other infantry. With those extra chevrons, just kind of buffing their stats a bit. Double chevrons in these guys, and double chevrons in those guys. So slightly buffed swordsmen, but the very basic Empire infantry. Really, I guess maybe a slight bit above regular spearmen without shields, but pretty low tier, but kind of went for a wider build here with the lots of cavalry and such. And then, of course, big investment was this thing, the steam tank. Armored, armor piercing, causes terror, and unbreakable. So it will fight to the very end until you blow it up. It's unbreakable, and it's it's a tank. Yeah, I like tanks. What can I say? I fought against them before, and I wanted to try using it one for myself this time. So it was okay. I think they're a pretty great tool for the Empire, and I like bringing them out whenever I have a chance. And then again, so there's the other group of halberdiers over here with double chevrons, and group of spearmen with shields, same as on the flank. And then of course Empire Captain, Pistoliers, and Reichsguard over there on the far left flank. And some of the Reichsguard have, or the Pistoliers, excuse me, have already circled up and enveloped him. So let's take a look at the Dark Elf army as they are about to close. We are about to get into battle. So this is an all infantry army. He's got over here Blades of the Blood Queen, Regiment of Renown, Harganeth Executioners, Armored Armor Piercing Anti-Infantry, Murderous Mastery. So they're just nice high stat line. Gonna chew through my swordsmen, my poor little swordsmen. Really gonna want the steam tank against those, and the cavalry are gonna have to be brought to bear on them to be most effective. But he's getting backed up by dark shards with shields, shielded and armor piercing missiles, so nasty. They're gonna make pincushions out of my poor Reichsguard, and probably even can do some work on the tank if given enough time to just sit and shoot at it. Then he's got Bleak Swords group here. You know, shielded sword infantry, kind of like just my Empire swordsmen, maybe slightly better stats. I mean, what are their stats? So armor 30, armor 30. So this looks like the swordsmen have lower leadership. So the Bleak Swords have got better leadership and slightly better stats. So, but with a couple chevrons should help my swordsman out. He's got another group of regular executioners, Harganeth executioners, which have taken a couple shots from the steam tank, it looks like, which has been blasting him with its cannon. Malekith is his legendary lord riding on the chariot. He's just blown through my swordsman here, like with his cold one chariot. He's a spellcaster, armored, armor piercing, and anti-infantry, so just a nasty piece of work there. His dark shards beginning to fire in, but these aren't dark shards. Here we've got Black Arc Corsairs with handbows, so they're fire whilst moving in. They're also decent melee combatants, and they got that Sea Dragon cloak, I believe, which is going to give them a little bit of extra armor. So they're nasty. Mid-range, like about 650 for a group of them. So the mid-range infantry, and again another group with the handbows. So he's got a lot of ranged archery power, and dark stars with shields again over here with the armor piercing. Damage is going to be pretty nasty. Group of dread spears, which is closed over here with my halberdiers. Should be an interesting battle because the dread spears might have a slightly lower stat line. Yeah, they got a slightly lower stat line than the halberdiers in attack and defense, so my halberdiers should do decently against that, but they're going to need support, and especially if these guys start firing in. And then in the back, anchoring his back, he's got two groups of these Cold One Knights, armored and shielded, armor piercing, and anti-large. So they'll be able to gang up on my tank and deal with my cavalry quite effectively. So I'm going to want to bring all my cavalry to bear on these guys. That would have been ideal. And I do have the Pistoliers starting to come in to make a nuisance of myself. But yeah, so let's that's his army. Let's take a look at the action. Turn off the info there, see how things going. So my Pistoliers wheeling in from the back. Gonna want to try and get into that. Probably should have gone for those archers because they're gonna be doing nasty amounts of work on my swords and spears. We're getting chunked down already by all that archery fire and Malekith there. That's not good. Need to bring in Karl Franz. Where's Karl Franz? Where's Karl Franz? I brought Karl Franz to swing around and deal with the, get into the back line, deal with the archery, though I should have brought him right up against Malekith. So there's the first mistake. So the Empire Captain, Karl Franz, going against the archers. The Reichsguard charging into the back of the Blades of the Blood Queen, immediately wheeling out for a cycle charge. Going to want to dig into those dark shards with shields. So that's good. That's a good target for the Reichsguard. This group of Reichsguard, though, is outnumbered. Should have brought the other group over to kind of sandwich these Cold One Knights. Throw as much as I can at them. The Pistoliers are firing in, but maybe not being as effective as they can. But this group of Cold One Knights got beaten off, but two of them are going to be a bit too much for my Reichsguard, and I need to kind of bring it on to the Reichsguard. However, getting double shots into them is good. Let's see, the main line is definitely probably going to go the Dark Elves' way here. The Halberdiers still holding out well against the Dread Spears. He's pulling them back a bit. The Black Arc Corsairs getting into the back line, having routed the swords and spears. This group of swordsmen rallying, but they're going to take fire from the Black Arc Corsairs. Can't tell. Ow, 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 ow. Dropping a few models. Not good. Going to want to bring those into contact with the Black Arc Corsairs. The steam tanks surrounded by the Harganeth Executioners. Do they have armor piercing? Yes, they do. So they're going to be able to chunk away at that steam tank a little bit. But that's just ramming it. Like, kill those, kill. Smashing those Harganeth Executioners. Just chopping me up. The Empire Captain, Karl Franz, over here, getting a bit isolated by Blades of the Blood Queen. Karl Franz at half health. Nasty. Empire Captain also fighting, but Karl Franz getting nicely chucked down. bringing back my halberdiers and spearmen with shields. This group of Reichsguard over here has been routed. Need to bring them back. I think I remember to charge them into the archers here. Group of pistoliers coming over here. Going to be firing in at these dark shards with shields, although maybe limited effectiveness. Pistoliers against the group of Cold One Knights. Is there another group of Cold One Knights anywhere? So there's only one group of Cold One Knights. I at least managed to eliminate them. Largely, and I got another group of Reichsguard routed up here, but I got to bring them back in. Right now I think I'm more focused on this little clump here with the Empire Captain Karl Franz, who's been routed. Oh no! Empire Captain surrounded by Bleak Swords, Halberdiers engaged with Bleak Swords as well. Empire Captain in a decent situation. He's going to be able to bully those Bleak Swords as well. These guys are nasty. I'm going to want to deal with them. So I think I'm charging in my Reichsguard here against this group of Black Ark Corsairs. Yes, yes, yes. Ow, two groups though. Ow, 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 ow. Dang, those fire whilst moving. That's really annoying. That's really, really annoying. So I'm trying to ride them down, but those bloody archer units are hurting me a lot. Halberdiers kind of coming in after running off this group of spears. Empire Captain here dealing with this group of guard shards. You're going to be able to hopefully bully them pretty well. The Pistolier is able to fire at the Dread Spears chasing them. It's kind of like, oh, but this group of Cold One Knights has cycled back in and are going to get a nasty charge, I believe, into the Spearmen with shields. Or not, or they're going to find another engagement that they like more. The Steam Tank driving off the Hargoneth Executioners and still madly chasing them like, yeah. Oh, splat. Oh, yeah, that's overkill. So we just splatted him and then shot him with a steam cannon. That's nasty. So my troops routing everywhere. The Pestoliers still kind of riding free in the back line, but of limited effectiveness right now. This group of Pistoliers has been routed. Malekith over here. I think he's chased off my. I think he's chased off Karl Franz. Yeah, he's chased off Karl Franz. So there's no Karl Franz. My legendary lords off the field. So that's not good. Reichsguard charging into the Cold One Knights, but the Cold One Knights have an anti-large bonus and are going to be able to chunk down the Reichsguard pretty effectively. In fact, they're both routing. Neither of them were too into that charge, and now they're both routing. Well, no, the Dread One Knight's still standing, wavering, but still standing. Steam Tank surrounded by the Blades of the Blood Queen now, which are going to be heavily chunking it down. Empire Captain coming in, popping a buff, trying to deal with the Blades of the Blood Queen. Although with the Steam Tank and the Empire Captain, that should hopefully go that way. But again, he's got too many missile units still active. These Black Ark Corsairs still almost full health. Gonna be able to still be really effective. I have to decide what to do with these Pistoliers. I think they're charging them in against the or not. I'm very indecisive at the moment. Charging against Malekith, am I? Yeah. Ooh, and a nasty wind spell cast by Malekith, and another one. Oh, just dicing my poor cavalry here. Steam Tank and Empire Captain kind of still managed to hold their ground, basically finishing off Blades of the Blood Queen. Are they routing? I can't tell. $32, that's weird. Where's the rest of the models then? Yeah, so the Black Ark Corsairs, they armor piercing? No, they're not armor piercing, but it's got a full unit out. They're going to be able to chunk that down, but the Steam Tank could probably deal with a lot of them anyway, and I got 2 Empire Captains, so now it's basically down to these 2 Captains and the Steam Tank. And this one group of Reichsguard, if I remember to use it. And this group of Spearmen, which is routed, which I think was fighting these Dread Spears in the woods. But yeah, I just had the Cold One Dread Knights were just a good match for my cavalry. Good match against the Reichsguard. Able to kind of come back, cancel them out. The armor-piercing missiles again chunked my knights down quite effectively. The Hargoneth Executioners really did good work against the Steam Tank. So and the Pistoliers, I guess, just didn't have the punching power I needed for them. You know, I think armor-piercing missiles probably would have been a bit better. So I'm trying to run down these dark shards because I realize the ranged units are the most annoying. I'm gotta find a way to deal with them. If I can get the cavalry to smash up his so that's a bad choice. This is a much better unit to charge against. Why? So I'm trying to save my other Empire Captain, I guess. So I'm charging in, trying to finish that off, wheeling them out, cycle charging. Empire Captain and Steam Tank gonna go up against these Black Ark Corsairs. Try to get them. So I mean, using these units all right. Trying to use what I have left, so it's still pretty tight. If I can keep that steam tank alive, it's unbreakable. It'll keep fighting, and it might cause these units to tear out if I can isolate enough of them. But it looks like Malekith's casting another spell, which is going to be doing some damage to my Captain and Reichsguard. Maybe finishing the Reichsguard off. Yeah, ow, not good. This Empire Captain's routing, very low health. This tank can be brought down by this infantry blob, maybe. Oh no, Malekith. If Malekith can get some wax off on that steam tank, he can finish it off. Empire Captain's still at full health, but he's just not going to be effective on its own against all that. So it's very important to keep the Reichsguard and Empire Captain alive, but the Reichsguard are wavering. I think probably in the face of Malekith, because he's basically at full health. So that if it's between Malekith and the steam tank, he's going to be able to finish that off. The Dark Shards with armor piercing are coming back in, so it's basically his game at this point. Yeah, my Empire army, my first foray into Empire-ness ends with a tank blowing up like that, and that's that. Valiant defeat. I tried my best, but what could I do? He just had a really good Dark Elf army. Let's check the kill count. So Karl Franz only got 23 kills. Malekith chased him off pretty early, so he used Malekith to chase off Karl Franz really effectively there. 67 and 71 on the Empire Captains, 8 on the Spearmen with Shields, 68 on the other group of Spearmen with Shields. They had a better engagement. Swordsmen, 14, 13, and 16, so not terribly effective against his Hargoneth Executioners and his Bleak Swords. Just not a good choice there. 39 and 42 on the Halberdiers, 68, 78 on the Reichsguard, 97. So the pistol, okay, 97 and 47 on the Pistoliers. When they were kiting that group of Dread Spears, they were probably just raking up the kills. And 161 on the Steam Tank. So just needed to tweak it. This is my first foray into Empire-ness. I did tweak a build and have some better luck after tweaking it, but this battle against the Dark Elves did not go my way whatsoever. So well done, Reastbook. You got me. You got your revenge for me killing your Beastmen army with my Charmander army. So 139 on the Black Ark Corsairs. Well done. It's done pretty good. Like the Hargoneth Executioner's Blades of the Blood Queen, 119 kills. 120 on Malekith, casting those nasty spells. 48 and 26 on the Bleak Sword. So yeah, he just outmatched me in the infantry. Only 3 on this group of Cold One Knights. They were the ones that routed, getting slammed by the Reichsguard and the Pistoliers and the Empire Captain at the beginning. So the Cold One Knights were maybe not as scary as I thought they were, but they were really annoying to deal with anyway. I think it was his ranged units I had the most problems with, that armor piercing, trying to deal with them and but then getting bogged down in infantry. Tough to say. Probably needed better infantry. Probably just needed to choose better targets with the cavalry. But oh well, hindsight's 20/20. Anyway, it's for the boys back home. Keep it real.